It's story time. Story time. Let's read a story time. Story time. I'm Geek the story time. Story time. You and me, it's story time. Story time. Let's achieve. Hello, my beautiful K crew, and welcome to story time with me, Kayla. How's your Sunday going? I hope you're doing well and making sure to stay safe, of course. Now today we have another special author feature. We are going to take a look at a book from Toyin Adekale. Now, aside from being an author, she is also a singer and songwriter and an actress, which is so cool. And she has written a beautiful chapter book that we're going to read, and I'm so excited to share with you. So, without further ado, the book we'll be reading tonight is called The Crystal City, written by Toyin Adekale. You ready to see what this book is all about? Ready, set, let's begin. The Crystal City, written by Toyin Adekale. Here we go. I am so excited. And she signed it. Yay! Never stop reaching for your dreams. It's yours to pursue, Toyin. Absolutely, that is so true. And I love the little smiley face too, so thank you. Here we go. Chapter 1, Tally Go. Once upon a time, there lived a little girl called Tally. She lived in a regular village with regular people doing regular things. One night, as she lay sleeping, she had a dream and a vision of a crystal city with lots of lights filled with gold and diamonds. Everyone there were kings and queens, prince and princesses, and she had a clear instruction in her dream. You can stay here and be normal, or you can go find the city and be the princess and queen that you were born to be. That morning, she woke up all excited and says, "I've got to go. I've got to get to the Crystal City, but who will go with me? If it's good for me, then it's good for everyone else." She was so excited that day, she gathered all of her friends, Addie, Rachel, Marie, and Fatima, including her best friends, Kari, Nikki, and Tabby, and a couple of their friends. That was nice of her to think of others. Okay, you guys, the Crystal City in the Beyond. Have you heard of it? Yes, we've heard about it, they all shouted. I've heard about it, but I believe it's too far, one of them said. That's okay, we can all go together, Tally responded. But it's too scary out there beyond, and besides, I got things to do, retorted another child. Well, what about you? Will you come? Tally addressed the others. A few of the kids mumbled amongst themselves. Then Addie announced, "Okay, we'll come with you. After all, anything's better than here right now." So the 10 children gathered their things and began their journey to the Crystal City. The children had been gone a couple of days now, with enough food and drinks, but some of them started to get tired. "This is too far and too hard. I'm tired and want to go back," said Fatima. "But why go back?" Tally asked pleadingly. "We've already agreed that there's nothing back there for us, and at least we stand a chance of getting to the Crystal City and living like royalty. Wouldn't you all like that?" she added. "Yes, but how long is it going to take us to get there?" asked Addie. "However long it takes," Tally said. "Come on, guys, let's keep going." As they continued their journey, they bumped into some people coming towards them. "Where are you guys going?" they asked Tally and her friends, looking really tired. "We're going to the Crystal City. We're going to be kings and queens and prince and princesses," Nikki declared. "Forget that. We've tried that," they scoffed. "Hi, my name is Tally. What's your name?" Tally politely introduced herself to the group. "My name is Marcus. We're all from the same village," answered the tallest boy, who also seemed to be the leader of the group. "Well, how far did you go?" asked Tally. Well, we went as far as we're prepared to go, and we're not going a step further. It's way too far, and we're exhausted, Marcus responded, as the others nodded in agreement. Well, let's just rest and then continue later. We can join our groups and go together, Tally encouraged them. Nah, we're not going. You lot are just wasting your time. It's too far and it's too hard, said another member of the group. Well, maybe that's why only a few people make it, Tally said. That's true. They go as far as they're prepared. They're not prepared for the long journey. Because they're not prepared to go further or work any harder, let's be stronger than those who gave up. We can do it if we make our minds up, she urged her friends on. Well, you can make your mind up alone. We're not going. We're heading back, said Marcus. And so they left. The 10 children looked a bit weary and looked towards Tally. Do you really think the Crystal City does exist? Tabby asked. Well, haven't you dreamed about it yourselves? You all told me you saw it in your dreams also. Come on, let's just keep going. If we're tired, we can take a rest here behind these rocks. So they bunkered down for the night, each behind the 4 rocks. They're having second thoughts. A couple of the kids were whispering as they thought Tally was sleeping. Tally is being too extra right now. We need to just go back home. We don't want to be battered and worn out like those people we just bumped into, right? Mumbled Addie. Yeah, but it's such a long way back. Maybe we should just keep going with Tally. Maybe we'll find something, Nikki interrupted. Come on now. What if we don't make it? How much longer do you think we'll carry on without food? Fatima asked. Well, we just found some fruits on the way, and some of these lovely creatures we've passed by seem to have gathered food for us, Tabby piped. You know, Addie's right. Tally has always been a big dreamer. Let's just go back, Rachel continued. And leave her on her own? Nikki asked worriedly. Well, if she wants to go by herself, why not? Rachel mumbled. Oh no, I can't leave her by herself. If you guys want to go, you can go. But I'm going to try and stay with her because I'm not going to leave her on her own out here, Nikki said firmly. Well, that's up to you. So what do the rest of you say? Hands up, who wants to come with me? Addie looks to the others. 5 of the children reluctantly put their hands up. So, okay, done. So that's 5 of us. So she's not on her own, Rachel concluded. That night, as they prepared to sleep and get ready for their journey in the morning, Tally turned away and looked into the distant skies with tears in her eyes. She knew that some of the group were about to leave her. She really wanted them to come with her, but they were turning their backs on her. Tally felt a heavy sadness because, more importantly, they were turning their backs on what could be a better life. Can't give up. Chapter 2. And then there were 3. In the morning, when they woke up, getting their bags together, Tally knew what they were going to say. But she already accepted she would have to go with whoever would go with her. Okay, guys, are you ready? Tally asked, pretending not to know what she heard. We're heading back, Tally. It's too difficult. It's too long a journey. Addie and Rachel spoke on behalf of the 5 of them. Okay, I'm not going to force you, interjected Tally. Maybe your dream wasn't the same as my dream, she continued. But I know I saw the Crystal City. I know we're headed in the right direction. I don't know how far it is, but I know that it is. That much I do know. So I'm still going to go, she added. And then, as if for the last time, she asked with a stronger voice, Is anyone coming with me? 3 of her faithful friends, Kari, Nikki, and Tabby, put their hands up and said, We'll come with you, Tally. One of them, Maria, was a little hesitant, mumbled, I don't know. She looked at the 5 friends who were heading home, then looked at Tally and said softly, Maybe. Tally, who was beginning to become teary-eyed, gave her a pat on the shoulder and said, It's okay. We'll be fine. If you don't want to go, I don't want to force you. After all, your dream might be different from my dream, but I have to go to the Crystal City. There's nothing back there for me. With that, they hugged and parted company. So, the six departed, and now there were four of them, including Tally. Tally looked at her three friends and said, "Hey, I think as much as it's difficult, we should go." And so they ventured out into the starry night towards the Crystal City. As they walked through the night, a strange squirrel-looking creature came alongside them with fruits in its hands. The creature didn't talk, but seemed very friendly and communicated quite well using sign language to say, "These fruits are for you. These nuts are for you." The squirrel-looking creature led Tally and her remaining friends to a set of rocks where they settled down for the night. They found some fleece rugs just lying there, as if waiting for them. "Well, I guess we can keep ourselves warm for the night as well," Tally said as she handed her three friends the fleece rugs. They then rummaged through the fruits and nuts and bedded down for the night. As they went to sleep, Tally could hear Kari, Tabby, and Nikki whispering amongst themselves, saying, I don't know if we can go any further. This is dumb. We should have gone with the others. If we go now, we might catch up with them. What do you say we just turn back and leave Tally on her own?" Nikki really didn't want to leave Tally. "Well, you heard her. She's going to go regardless," stated Kari. "But we have to go back. If we don't go now, we won't catch the others," he continued. "They were obviously smarter than us. Look, they stuck together and they're all going back together. How many of them stuck with Tally?" Tabby asked Nikki. Tally took a deep sigh. The squirrel-looking creature sat beside her, as if to say, "Don't worry, I'm here." She whispered to the squirrel-looking creature, "Hey, are you going to leave me too?" As if understanding, the creature patted her on the head and gave her more nuts, reassuring her that no matter what happened, she was not going to be alone. She wiped the tears from her eyes, sniffed a bit, and prepared for the bad news in the morning. That maybe she was going to have to do this journey all by herself. With that, she closed her eyes and went to sleep. When Tally woke up that morning, she was the last one to wake, which was very rare for her. Tally was really worn out. It was sad to see her friends had all packed their belongings and ready to go. Wow, guys, I see that you're just as determined as I am, right? So we're ready to go? Okay, I'll get my stuff together. Tally acted like she had no idea they were leaving. Her three friends didn't break a smile. Nikki, who felt the saddest, glanced at Kari and Tabby and then turned to Tally and said, "No, Tally, we're not coming with you, and we think you should come with us too. We're heading back. If we go now, we'll catch the others. At least we won't be alone. Come back with us, Tally. Forget about the Crystal City. We know where we are. At least it might not be the best place in the world, but we know everyone there. We all like the same things. We all do the same things. We all have the same desires." Tally had tears running down her cheeks, but she expected this. "No, guys, we have to go to the Crystal City," she pleaded. "We are more than where we came from," she continued. "We are prince and princesses, kings and queens. We are royalty. We just have to go to the right place where we will be treated that way. Where we came from, nobody ever acts like a prince or a princess, or a king or a queen. Everyone is complaining every day about not having enough. Everyone complains how bored they are. You remember complaining, right? Why are you changing your mind now?" she asked. Tabby was also sad as she took Tally's hand. "Tally, everybody is going back. Doesn't that tell you something? Everybody can't be wrong." Tally pulled her hand away, upset. "If everyone feels bad and everybody says it's not good, does that make everybody right for going back to the bad things? Or is it just easier because you know where that is?" Tally tried hard to make them understand. "I won't settle for easier. I know the Crystal City exists. I want what it offers. I am a princess, and I am going to be a queen. And the only place we can do that is at the Crystal City. Now, are you coming with me or not? Nikki gently interrupted. Tally, we're going to go back. Are you really going to go by yourself? It's very dangerous and dark out here. There's nobody out there. We've bumped into people coming from that direction, and they said it didn't exist. Tally got irritated now, for the first time. How did they know the Crystal City never existed, if they didn't go there? How do they know? They just didn't go far enough. Well, I'm going to go as far as I can get, and I'm not mad at you guys for turning back. So, I guess this is where we all say goodbye, right? She asked. The three children looked at each other and nodded. Yes, Tally, we're going back, they responded in quiet chorus. The friends all hugged one another and cried a little. Tabby gave Tally some of her notes and memorabilia. Here's my necklace for you to remember me when you get to the city, Nikki said, giving her the necklace and a little ring, and Tabby a little pillow, and Kari an item of clothing. Aww, she's really going by herself now, all alone. This is for you, Tally. Tally paused as if pondering. Was she also going to change her mind? Then she said, We've come a long way, and you've got a very long way back. You're going to do the same journey that we did coming this far. You're tired, and you're going to be even more tired going back. Take some of these fruits that I've got left. The squirrel-looking creature sat up as if to say, What do you think you're doing? What are you giving it? Why are you giving it away? She looked at the creature and said, It's okay. If I found it on my way here, then I should find it going towards the Crystal City. We came a long way, and they're going to need it. With that, she gave them the food supply, hugged them, and bid them farewell. We love you, they said as they waved and parted company. A gust of wind suddenly whooshed past Tally and over the friends. The night was coming faster, and there was a strange chill in the air. Tally stood there and watched her friends walk away into the distance. She looked back at her squirrel-looking creature friend and said, Well, I guess it's you and me. Which way do we go? Chapter 3. Are we there yet? As they walked deeper into the night, a few days had passed. Her feet were worn and she was tired. They came across 3 people slumped by a rock, crying and upset. Tally asked them, What's wrong? What happened? They answered, Well, we were on our way to the Crystal City, but it doesn't exist. Tally says, I know you're tired and hungry. I have a friend here who knows where to get the best fruits and the best nuts. We can find it if we do it together. They said, No, it's a waste of time. It's not worth it. It's not worth what? Tally asked. All this hard work and cold nights and hunger, the people replied. Can I ask you something? Says Tally. Do you all come from the same village as me back there? Yes, everybody comes from there, they asked. Well, weren't you ever hungry there sometimes? Tally asked. Yeah, why? Because we never have enough in that village. We just have to wait for people to bring us stuff. And if they don't bring it to us, then we just have to wait. Okay, so you've been hungry before, right? And you survived? Yeah, but this is too hard. We're going to sit right here and wait for help, one of them said. Well, how long have you been sitting here? A couple of days, they replied. And nobody's come? Tally asked, surprised. No. Well, are you going back or are you coming with? No, we're going to wait here, they all said. Well, don't you think the time it takes you to wait here, you could get up and go look for help in the Crystal City? That makes sense. Oh, enough of this Crystal City hoax. We're not moving another step. We're going to wait right here. Tally was confused. But you're in the middle of nowhere. You're not going back and you're not going forward. You're just going to stay right here? you'll perish. Then so be it. They stood their ground. Surely you didn't come all this way to perish. Surely you came all this way because you wanted to succeed. You wanted something better, right? Tally started to sound very anxious. Yeah, well, we can't be bothered. You go. Leave us right here. Tally was so sad. They'd given up. But worse than giving up, they couldn't decide where they were going to go. They would surely perish, and she knew she couldn't stay there with them. She had to move on, and so Tally and her squirrel-looking creature friend headed on into the night. Yes, she was hungry, and occasionally there were animals howling and growling in the night, and she was scared. But every time she'd look to the side, her squirrel-looking creature friend would look at her as if to say, "Don't worry, I'm here. Nobody's going to harm you, and you're not going to be alone." As they continued further, she started to question herself. Maybe everybody was right. They did say, how can so many people think the same? I agree, they must be right and I must be wrong because I'm all by myself. They were the wise ones. Maybe it was silly of me wanting to be a queen or a princess. Why do I think I am any better than anyone else? I'm no different to anyone. I could live an ordinary life. So what if I'm hungry for a few days? I'm hungry now. Tally stomped by the rocks and started to cry very loudly. She looked at her feet, which were swollen, and swore. Her knee was hurting, and she had a bit of a limp. She was scuffled and dirty and very, very tired. The nuts and fruits were starting to feel like, "My goodness, I just need some food, some real cooked food," Tally grumbled and then cried out. Was she thinking about giving up? She looked at her squirrel-looking creature friend and said, "In the morning, if we don't have anything to eat by the end of the day, if we don't have any glee of hope, then maybe, just maybe, I'll have to give in and make my way back. I only hope we'll even have enough to make our way back, 'cause I don't think I could go on much further." And with that, she cried, trying to get some sleep. Aww. The wind started to pick up around her. The night seemed darker than other nights. The animals howling in the bushes made it harder to fall asleep. Though Tally was restless, her tiredness took over and she finally fell asleep. As Tally slept, she dreamed again about this crystal city. The buildings were made of thick glass with glistening lights above. People wore gold shiny outfits, people of all colors, shapes, and sizes. Big crowns, big diamonds with bling on their gowns, and they sat down in a big banquet halls with lots and lots of food and music, tambourines, and dancing. While she lay asleep, her squirrel-looking creature friend saw a smile spread across her face. That was a good sign. There was still hope for her. With that, her friend tucked her under the rock with some fleece to keep her warm and walked off. Was he going to leave her there? Tally had no idea. Chapter 4. No turning back now. Later that morning, when Tally woke up, she had a look of shock, joy, excitement, and confusion all in one. She was screaming, laughing, crying, all at the same time. "Oh my goodness! What is this?" There were 4 of these squirrel-looking creatures around her. There were mounds of nuts and fruits, but for the first time, she saw a little burning fire. Where did that come from? This can't be real. Tally wipes her eyes in disbelief. Surely those creatures didn't build a fire. Yes, they did. And also they found a sphere cup like a shell. Was that a coconut shell? It looked like a coconut shell, and it had water in it. Wait, it's coconut water, she grasped. She drank it all down in one go. The creatures looked at each other as if to say, "Ugh, she sure was thirsty," and looked back at her. On the fire, there was something cooking. She could smell it. She inhaled deeply, the look on her face indicating it smelled good. But who did this? She wondered as she looked around to see if she was in any danger. She thought there must be other people around just like her, but no one to be seen. What was that on the fire? It was fish. There were two fishes on skewers cooking over the fire. The creatures took it off, put it to the ground, and helped her pull it off the stick, waited for it to cool down, and gave it to her. But she was so hungry, she tried to eat it immediately. Ooh, 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 it's hot. Ooh. Tally tore into the fish. She was so delighted and grateful. I don't know where this all came from. She looked up to the sky and said, "Thank you, thank you. I guess the universe has all I need. Sometimes I've just got to look for it." As she looked to the sky again to say thank you, one of the stars shone brighter than the others, glistening radiantly among the other stars, as if to say, "That's okay, my dear." Well, she was full and ready to go. While gathering the mess and cleaning her hands, she addressed the squirrel-looking creatures. "Thank you so much, but where did you get this from? And where did your friends come from?" They started acting like her, mimicking her folding and cleaning up. They put sand on the fire to put it out, picked up empty coconut shells, gathered whatever they could, the remaining fruits and nuts, and dragged it off behind them. And off they went into the wilderness, towards the crystal city. They had been walking now for a few more days, and were tired. Tally felt more determined than ever. "I know that we're getting closer, and I know that it would take us the same amount of time to go back, and there's no turning back." As they walked further, Tally saw an image of someone standing with what seemed like long flowing hair and a long purple gown with shiny gold thread. "Am I hallucinating?" she thought out loud. "Is that a person? It doesn't look like anyone we left behind or the people we've met along the way, but I'm going towards that person." As she walked, the squirrel-looking creatures ran ahead of her. "No, don't leave me," she cried, as they ran and ran and ran till she could no longer see them because they were so small. They headed towards this person. At least it looked like a person in a long purple flowing gown with gold threads, which glistened in the sun. Who could it be? It was early evening, so it wasn't quite dark, nor was it totally light, and the sun was definitely shining. Tally became excited, though she was a little afraid. Was it something harmful, or was it good? Why did they run? Were they afraid? Did they know this person? Had they left her alone finally, or maybe they were closer than they thought? Tally's footsteps started to slow down. She was in a hurry to find out and a little nervous, but it didn't stop her from going forward. Yes, she was afraid. Yes, she was worried. Yes, she was so tired, but she just felt she had to get closer. Maybe, just maybe, this person was from the Crystal City and can lead her there. As she got closer, the person in the purple gown started to look bigger. More and more, she could see this image was a person. It was a lady with dark olive skin, fairly brown and golden. There seemed to be a light shining from her. She wore a crown. Tally gasped, "It's a queen! It's a queen!" And with that, Tally picked up pace and started to run. The lady then turned and started to walk away from her. "No, wait! I know that you're from the Crystal City." She ran faster and faster. She got closer, only enough to be able to see the queen, or this person, however. She couldn't catch up, but she kept on running. Sometimes this image of the lady in the purple gown seemed to vanish, just leaving a little smidget of purple enough to keep Tally following. As she ran closer and closer, she noticed 1 minute she was there, and the next it was as if she had fallen off an edge. "Oh my goodness, she's fallen off a cliff. I'm never going to find her. Who was she? Where is she? Where are my little friends? I'm on my own. Oh, this was stupid. They've left me." She looked like she was real, but maybe it's my imagination. After all, I've been out here for so long, nothing makes sense anymore. Tally walked until she came to the edge, at least what she thought was the edge. She threw herself on the ground and cried, "Why? Why? I've been following the stars. You've been guiding me. Why now? I've lost all my people. I've lost my little creature friends. You gave me a vision of hope. Then you take it away? Why?" She starts beating the ground, sobbing. "How do I make my way home now?" At this time, it was dark. There was swirling wind, and the sky seemed to have more stars than normal. Tally's tears didn't allow her to see the beautiful stars, and her sobbing drowned the sound of the night's animals howling. She didn't have the energy to get beyond a rock. She didn't have any of her little creature friends to cover her or feed her. She was so tired and sad to even be afraid. She just laid there on the floor and cried herself to sleep. Chapter 5. Queen Kalia's Welcome. When Tally woke up in the morning, the purple gown was on her back. She jumped up startled and looked around for her squirrel-looking creature friends. Did they bring this for her? Where are they? As she looked around, there was the lady in a golden dress, golden threads and beads, dark olive skin, gold jewelry, the most beautiful she had ever seen. Oh my gosh, you are real! Then she looked at herself and saw this was the purple gown she was wearing. She had covered her when she was sleeping, and standing behind her were several of those squirrel-looking creatures. Oh my goodness! As she jumped up, they all came around her, took the gown off of her, brought her fruits and nuts and fish. The lady reached out to Tally and took her hand, and then the queen spoke. "You made it." Tally asked, "I did? But how did you know I was trying?" The queen cut in, "We've been waiting for you." She took Tally by the hand and led her just a few more steps, with the squirrel-looking creatures right behind, all excited and twittering. For the first time, Tally saw birds flying above the queen. All kinds of birds, doves, eagles, hummingbirds, bluebirds, blackbirds, all in harmony, and they were just flying above, chirping a beautiful song. She had never heard such beautiful sounds for days, maybe even weeks. As the birds hovered above, she walked to the edge, hand in hand with this beautiful queen. When she got to the edge, Tally fell to her knees. As she looked down and saw the vision of beauty that she had dreamt about and always known, the Crystal City, she cried and looked up at the lady and asked, "Who are you?" "I am Queen Kalia, and I am the queen of this kingdom. We've always known about you, and we knew that you wouldn't give up because you are a princess. You are an heir to this kingdom. There are many more like you yet to come, but because you have made it, you are now going to lead the way for others to follow." Tally jumped up and hugged Queen Kalia. "Thank you." "No, thank you for dreaming big, for never giving up, for keeping on even when everything else was against you." And with that, they brought Tally her own gown and put it over her shoulders. They put the most beautiful crown on her head and gave her a purple staff to hold in her hand. The squirrel-looking creatures bowed down before her as the birds sang and danced around her. Aww. Yes. Yes. More people came out of the Crystal City, bringing her gifts and playing music as they led the parade into the city. They gave her a beautiful bath of jasmine and vanilla. They combed her hair and fed her, and boy did she eat. And now Tally is queen, reigning with Queen Kalia, and she's calling you princes and princesses to come to the Crystal City. The end. Yes, K-Crew! You see what happened when you have a dream, a goal, a vision? When you keep pushing through, everything will come true and everything will be all right. Now, I hope you enjoyed reading this book as much as I did. Now, to find your copy of The Crystal City, make sure to head on over to Amazon and don't forget to follow her on social media. A big thank you to Miss Toyin for this wonderful book, along with some amazing writing skills. She also has an amazing voice, so definitely check out her songs too. Now, I thank you all so much for joining me, and hello to her family, but it's time to sing goodbye. Are you ready? Here we go. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. My friends, goodbye to you. I hope to see you again real soon. Be proud of all your work tonight. Now climb into bed and sleep real tight. On the count of 3, let's say goodnight. 1, 2, 3, good night.